What is up, Dogelon Mars Army? Welcome back to my channel. I am back at you with a video on Dogelon Mars, and before we get into it, definitely consider subscribing to stay up to date and ahead of the game on cryptocurrency news and all things Dogelon. And also smash that like it button to help us gain some promotion, but absolutely today especially smash that like button, help spread this video because this is a very special video and I am making this for all Dogelon investors, new and old, coming into the market, potentially new investors. We want to get a lot of new investors informed on the Dogelon Mars token, and I thought what better way than to go over the entire Amicus token paper, and it gets into a lot of detail into what this token $ Elon is behind, and I think this is a great way. I know today is going to be a trending Twitter, so if you want to use this would probably be a very good one to send off for trending on Twitter. I would really appreciate that if you did choose to use that. But if not, there are plenty of other YouTubers that do a lot of good content. So I understand if you don't want to use this one, but that is just fine. I am making this video though to get into a different style of doing things too. So I would really like your feedback. Let me know if you guys do like it in the comments. Let me know if you like this kind of new style. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. And enjoy the video.
Once viewed as faddish or unstable, the growing appeal of cryptocurrencies is undeniable as the number of distinct tokens has expanded dramatically since Bitcoin, BTC, was founded in 2009. Today, more than 4,000 cryptocurrencies exist. While many have little to no following or trading volume, some enjoy significant popularity with dedicated communities of backers and investors. One study estimates that more than 42 million Americans own some form of cryptocurrency, about 13% of the population. Globally, the number of cryptocurrency investors may exceed 106 million. Methuselah Foundation is using this paper to examine the promise of one particular cryptocurrency, Dogelon Mars, $Elon. Why us? Methuselah Foundation is the original medical charity focused on extending the healthy human lifespan. Our mission is to make 90 the new 50 by 2030 by supporting medical research dedicated to treating aging as a disease, and scientific research to improve access to the nutrition needed to support healthy life. Since our founding in 2001, we have partnered with major academic institutions, other foundations, NASA and other space agencies, as well as several biotechnology companies that are furthering our mission of disrupting the medical establishment to the benefit of anyone. Methuselah Foundation has invested millions of dollars in research and innovation to transform how society thinks about aging and how the medical community treats its effects. We were thrust into the world of cryptocurrency by Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of the cryptocurrency Ethereum, ETH, whose market capitalization is second only to Bitcoin. On the 12th of May, 2021, Buterin gifted us 43.2% of the world's supply of Dogelon Mars tokens, $Elon. He also sent us 1,000 ETH. The donation was widely reported by technology and investor media, in part because it was one of the most generous cryptocurrency donations in history. TechCrunch covered the story. Buterin, who became the youngest crypto billionaire at the age of 27 earlier this month, also transferred Ethereum and Dogelon Mars, Elon, worth $336 million to Methuselah Foundation, a non-profit that supports efforts in tissue engineering and regenerative medicine therapies, and over 13,000 ETH to Webull, a non-profit organization that works to curate the best charities around the world. Buterin also donated to Gitcoin Community, Myri and Charter Cities Institute. Instantly, millions of cryptocurrency holders wanted to know what we intended to do with the gift. Many were concerned that we would cash it in, effectively destroying the Dogelon's liquidity. To provide immediate reassurance, the foundation announced that it would hold its tokens for at least a year. At this point, we have no plans to divest and, in fact, we plan to keep faith with our mission by using the token however we can to support and promote our goal of making 90 the new 50 by 2030. To be clear, Methuselah Foundation is not a promoter of any cryptocurrency and is not and has never been involved with the development or founding of any cryptocurrency. However, we believe our mission-oriented focus, which includes raising and distributing funds for specific initiatives over a long period of time, gives us a unique perspective about the potential of cryptocurrencies. Like us, investors in cryptocurrencies tend to take a long view of their tokens' values. Like us, those investors understand long-term thinking. When we got our start, society viewed aging as an inevitable part of life, and the problems associated with aging were seen as being just as inevitable. The medical community found ways to treat the symptoms of aging, like some of the aches and pains, but shrugged at the underlying problems, caused by the fact that an aging body loses the ability to efficiently heal itself. We set out on a mission to change the way people think about aging. For 2 decades, we have fought stereotypes and pushed back on the physical setbacks associated with growing old. Our work has encouraged the development of a growing longevity community of physicians and researchers who are professionally committed to turning back the clock on aging. As a result of this persistence, people's perceptions about growing old have changed dramatically. Longevity research is a billion-dollar industry, and science is closer than ever to treating the underlying causes of aging. This means physicians will be able to treat the diseases of aging, not just alleviate their symptoms. Equally important, the work we supported and encouraged is leading to an improved quality of life for older people around the world. History of Elon. To understand the Dogelon token, it is important to understand Ethereum, which provides the Dogelon's underlying blockchain technology and infrastructure, as well as ERC-20, one of the most significant tokens on the Ethereum platform, which effectively sets the rules that all Ethereum-based tokens must follow. In addition, it would be useful to understand the operations of the Uniswap exchange, an automated market maker where half of the world's Dogelon supply is locked away. The Dogelon is an ERC-20 token created on the 23rd of April, 2021. Its developers gave 50% of the world's Dogelon supply to Buterin as thanks for creating the technology that allows Dogelon to exist. The remaining 50% went into Uniswap, in a locked liquidity pool. This ensures there is no way to remove any starting liquidity from the Uniswap pool, therefore removing any possibility of initial liquidity drawdown by the developers. As idealistic as it may seem, the Dogelon community's self-described goal was to develop an interplanetary currency supported by a community that will rally behind the objective of going to Mars. This has attracted people excited about space, innovative space technology and scientific progress that makes space travel possible. To engage these collective, the community launched an action comic book about Dogelon Mars, a character that communicates with humanity from a future where humans live on Mars. The Dogelon has been ratified as an attractive token in the crypto community and has been picked up by many exchanges. And they have made significant efforts to create awareness for the token in order to attract community members. All these and other steps to legitimize the token, its community and its mission have resulted in recognition, like the fact that @Dogelon Mars is verified by Twitter. Today, more than 100,000 people own Dogelon and trading volumes have approached $1 billion, making it one of the top 100 tokens in the world. Methuselah Foundation's view of Dogelon Mars. Any speculators perceive the potential of Dogelon Mars as the financial worth the token can ultimately achieve. We believe its main value is the community that supports it, a group of science and space enthusiasts. Obviously, this community has supported the token in hopes that it will appreciate in value. However, these community members have also bought into Dogelon Mars' goal of creating an interplanetary currency. And we believe that means they are optimistic about the future and receptive to our mission of extending healthy human lifespan and the quality of that lengthened life. Mainstream media coverage would suggest that the longevity arena is only a playground for wealthy individuals. While recent investments in the field by people like Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin and Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen are certainly welcome, Methuselah Foundation has achieved substantial progress by harnessing resources from all sorts of investors and investing them strategically to generate innovation. The history of science and medicine shows that progress is achieved through steady commitment, like the singles and doubles of a winning baseball team. Home runs are exciting, but games are rarely won by home runs alone. That means the opportunity to make a difference is not solely dictated by the size of an investor's portfolio. With 20 years of accomplishment behind us, we believe it is time to share news of the progress we are helping to achieve with a larger audience. The Dogelon community is important to that effort. We believe the community will be fascinated by the stream of scientific achievements being made, as well as the approach Methuselah Foundation takes to encourage them. In general, we believe the most valuable role Methuselah Foundation can play is as the provider of seed money that research teams and startup companies need to increase momentum around their technology or drug development. We look for gaps in the science that represent impediments to progress, then we find research teams working on solutions that can fill those gaps. We typically support research and innovation by providing companies with the financial backing to achieve the next 2 milestones in their product development evolution. That approach alleviates much of the financial pressure that can distract startups from their work. We provide these companies with enough security to enable them to achieve real, measurable progress they can use to attract additional support. This means we can opportunistically invest in the most promising research. And, because we are not interested in creating a brick-and-mortar, foundation-based research program, we do not waste money on our own scientific infrastructure. This enables us to remain nimble, so we can support work that is most promising and not necessarily efforts in which we have previously invested. This strategic approach to investment has resulted in tangible successes that hold promise for anyone. Consider a few. The Vascular Tissue Challenge awarded cash prizes to 2 teams of researchers who used 3D printing technology to produce biologically viable slices of human liver. Their research holds incredible promise. Creating tissue with bioprinters would, for example, enable researchers to perform preclinical drug tests on actual human tissue, ending medicine's reliance on animal tissue testing, which often is incompatible with human conditions. Though still in the distant future, the technologies recognized by the Vascular Tissue Challenge could potentially lead to the artificial production of human organs, which would solve the very real problem that demand for transplants greatly outstrips the supply of available organs. This breakthrough has exciting potential for human beings on Earth, but also holds promise for deep space travel, where medicine will face unimaginable challenges as astronauts spend years traveling to distant worlds. The Deep Space Food Challenge is poised to announce the winners of Phase 1 of this international competition to create novel and game-changing food technologies or systems that can maximize safe, nutritious and palatable food outputs for long-duration space missions. The same technologies will have potential to benefit people on Earth. Lucadia Therapeutics is developing a therapeutic device to help fight Alzheimer's disease. MatchGrid is kidney pair matching software used by hospitals and transplant organizations to rapidly match living organ donors with patients who have willing but incompatible donors. This technology has already saved thousands of lives. Poison Biotechnologies is developing senescent cell clearance technology to improve degenerative aging conditions through the safe removal of death-resistant cells. Mayo Clinic researchers used this technology to extend the life of mice by up to 35%. OncoSyncs is developing next-generation therapies to induce cellular death or apoptosis in cancerous cells in tumors. Organovo is designing and creating 3D human tissues that, for the first time, make it possible to test drugs on functional human tissues before administering them to a person. The company's technology will also enable therapeutic tissues to be implanted into the body to repair or replace damaged or diseased tissues. Turn Biotechnologies has developed RNA-based technology to safely reprogram DNA function epigenetically, which enables cells to rejuvenate targeted human tissue. The company is working on treatments for dermatology, ophthalmology and immunology. Vizient Biosciences is working on ways to replace traditional approaches to drug discovery that rely on animal models, which cannot reproduce some human diseases. The company is creating a method by which researchers can produce human tissue artificially to enable in vitro studies that are more accurate and applicable to the human condition. Volumetric is focused on creating 3D organs by using the first stereolithography-based bioprinter on the market. Its goal is to help researchers and engineers build biological structures with unmatched speed. Repair Biotechnologies is focused on reversing atherosclerosis, the buildup of cholesterol plaque in artery walls, which obstructs blood flow. A preclinical study found that a single treatment of the company's drug resulted in a 48% reversal of the obstruction of aortic blood vessels by lipid-based plaque. Xtherma is working to lengthen the time human organs can remain viable for transplant outside the human body. Its technology is designed to prevent the formation of ice, which damages the organ and makes long-term biostorage impossible. But that's not all. In coming months, we will unveil a roadmap for producing patient trials on a chip, a revolutionary approach to testing pharmaceuticals. Methuselah Foundation commissioned a team of research scientists and subject matter experts who served as judges, administrators and experts on the successful Vascular Tissue Challenge, from multiple leading universities, biotech companies, and government agencies to define the steps needed to replace animal models used in drug development with biologically networked organs that can be combined to create systems usable in patient trials. These patient trials on a chip will be far more predictive than animal tests. Animals have been used to develop medical treatments and check the safety of products for human use for centuries. The problem is that many human diseases cannot be effectively reproduced in animals, which makes much of this testing ineffective. For example, we know that some drugs that failed in animal tests are effective in humans. Conversely, some drugs cure disease in animals but do not work in humans. So, scientists can cure Alzheimer's disease in mice, but have not been able to develop an effective cure for humans. We also know that our over-reliance on animal testing means that many potentially life-saving drugs never make it to clinical trials in humans. The roadmap we will unveil is meant to create standard guidelines for developing patient trials on a chip so the technology can ultimately be commercialized. The need for such standards is critical since federal agencies responsible for approving medicines and other chemicals recognize the limitations of animal trials. In fact, the Environmental Protection Agency has already announced that it will stop funding animal testing by 2035. We believe this initiative is particularly important because it will speed the ability of researchers to test the efficacy of their products while reducing the cost of testing. Methuselah Foundation and Methuselah Mars. To show our understanding of the Dogelon Mars project, the Methuselah Foundation created a character called Methuselah Mars. It was first introduced by the Dogelon Mars Twitter account and retweeted by the Methuselah Foundation's Twitter account. Since then, the Methuselah Mars character has been used to deploy messages that support our mission of furthering space and health innovations. These messages come from this Ethereum-based contract. An important breakthrough in the winning of the Vascular Tissue Challenge was communicated via the Foundation's Twitter account. The shared cartoon explained that the $Elon represents scientific breakthroughs as illustrated by a beautiful stone of incredible complexity and rarity. Dogelon Mars and Methuselah launch science into space. People typically do not associate cryptocurrency with scientific exploration, but the Dogelon Mars, $Elon community recently donated funds to send a prize-winning scientific experiment to the International Space Station, ISS. The experiment, developed by Anthony Attila of the Wake Forest Institute of Regenerative Medicine, engineered and sustained thick-functioning human tissue in an earthbound lab, the first step toward growing human organs to replace those damaged by disease or trauma. Attila was a winner of the Vascular Tissue Challenge that Methuselah Foundation sponsored with NASA. The ISS experiment will determine if similar promising results can be achieved in space. It is a vital first step towards humanity's dreams of space travel. The ability to grow human organs will be important for crews who will eventually be involved in deep space missions. While the experiment has been scheduled to take place on the ISS, Methuselah Foundation will spend the next 18 months collaborating with the ISS and the Center for the Advancement of Science in Space, CASIS, to finalize plans for the experiment's launch and implementation. This is the first time a community of cryptocurrency holders has pooled its resources to facilitate scientific inquiry beyond Earth. It demonstrates the power and commitment of the Dogelon Mars community. It also shows how the convergence of technology, innovation and medicine offers dramatic promise for both space travelers and Earth's aging population. Dogelon Mars finds ways to engage, empower its community. The Dogelon Mars community has announced plans to expand the tokens universe by plunging into the decentralized finance, DeFi, and non-fungible tokens, NFTs, ecosystems. Two important steps on the path to expanding the influence and use cases of Elon. XELON will add robustness to the ecosystem. It will begin with the release of the XELON token, needed to engage in DeFi. An announcement of the release described it as a watershed moment for the community. Elon holders will soon be able to stake their Elon tokens to receive XELON. Staking is similar to depositing money in a bank in exchange for earned rewards, which are similar to interest. The difference is that tokens are held in a cryptocurrency wallet to support the security and operations of a blockchain network. Holders who stake or lock up their $ELN will receive rewards. When holders stake their $ELN, they will essentially put them to work through the XELON, a token that can be used for transactions. The $ELN remains in the holder's possession when staked, and holders retain the right to unstake their tokens. XELON is important to the community for several reasons. It expands commerce in and out of the Dogelon Mars ecosystem. The new tokens will immediately add a layer of transactability, allowing holders of $ELN to leverage their tokens' value to buy things. It will give $ELN holders a way to grow their holdings. Holders who stake their tokens will be rewarded with fees generated by the trades in which they are used. It will give active holders a greater voice in the community's governance. Holders who stake their $ELN will earn voting rights. This means they may, for example, vote on whether the Dogelon Mars community should invest in a space mission or make a charitable contribution. It will create greater stability for Dogelon Mars, enabling holders to unlock the value of their $ELN tokens by staking them for XELON reduces the urge to trade their tokens. In addition, other tokens built around characters from the Dogelon Mars comics strip will soon be added to the $ELN ecosystem. For example, Rufus, a character who has become a community favorite, will soon be represented in his own XRUFUS token. All these steps are designed to make the Dogelon ecosystem more sophisticated and robust, consistent with the community's promise of creating a true interplanetary currency that has additional utility in the future. Coming soon, NFTs. The community has announced an increased focus on NFTs in the Dogelon Mars project. NFTs are unique units of data that can be sold or traded. Most NFTs have historic importance. For example, videos or photos that have broadly influenced society can become NFTs. Original memes that become popular can be NFTs. Whatever the content, NFTs must go through a minting process that assigns each a specific blockchain address that ensures the NFT's provenance, thus locking in its value. That means, for example, that the value of an original piece of art captured on a JPEG will be greater than copies of that JPEG. NFTs can be traded and sold on digital markets, such as OpenSea.io. The market for NFTs is exploding as more people see their potential. In 2020, the NFT market volume tripled to $250 million. That number was eclipsed by the activity in Q3 of 2021 alone, when the NFT volume reached $6 billion. Dogelon Mars' entry into NFTs is particularly exciting because it ultimately aims to enhance the NFT marketplace. $ELN plans to become a token favored by NFT buyers and sellers all over the world. The entry into NFTs has already begun with a series of comics that reveal the story of Dogelon's journey to Mars in a graphic novel format. We share common ground with the $ELN community, like the holders of Dogelon Mars. We are focused on something greater than mere profit. We invest in companies to change the world. Do not misunderstand. We expect companies that develop world-changing products will ultimately be profitable. However, our immediate motivation for investing in them is to save lives and improve the quality of those lives, not to achieve short-term financial gain. The value of currencies and cryptocurrencies will ebb and flow. But our mission never loses its value. That's why our ultimate measure of success is something we call return on mission. Human longevity is the North Star by which we guide our investments. In this way, Methuselah Foundation shares the values of $ELN investors who are attracted to the token's mission of becoming the first intergalactic cryptocurrency, used to finance human travel to Mars. We are all driven by more than a simple profit motive. And we cannot wait to tell more of our story as it unfolds. In that vein, we invite fellow members of the Dogelon community to share what they value about the Dogelon and discuss the potential they see in it so that we can foster further understanding about the expectations around this cryptocurrency.